Good morning, everybody. Adam Bricker here with the Business of Coaching live on the Empowered Life platform. Today's week two, and week two, we're going to talk about how to help your clients without helping them. So here I am live. We have a couple of people participating today, and we're really going to focus on this because people don't want to feel like they need help. If they feel like they need help, then something's wrong and you're coming in to fix it. Now, is that what really happens? Yeah, that's what happens. But people are resistant to that. And I want to use the example of, let's say, walking into a department store. You know, back in the days when you could walk into a department store and you walk in and somebody says, "Hi, can I help you?" You know, think in your mind, what's your answer to that when somebody says, "Hi, can I help you?" I'll tell you what my answer is. And my answer is been developed because I know the information I'm about to teach today. My answer is almost always the same thing. Yes, you can. Hi, can I help you? Yes, you can. That immediately builds a connection. They've put out their part to connect. Can I help you? And I grab onto it. What do they usually hear people say? You usually hear people say, "No, thanks. No, just looking. No, just browsing." They hear that all the time. If they are just an attendant in a department store, what do they normally do? They just feel a bit of rejection. They're open and their invitation wasn't accepted, and they just let you go about your business and they don't care anymore. What does a good salesperson do? The good salesperson's already heard that a bunch of times, so they know how to counter it. What does an amazing business owner do? Avoids that scenario. So I walk in and I tell them, even I'm not much of a go to the department store guy. I might be going because I need a new pair of jeans. So I walk in and they say, "Hi, can I help you?" And I'll say, "Yes, you can. I'm looking for a pair of jeans for myself." They'll either walk me to the men's department or point to me. It's a connection. It's a bridge. Love is there, and it moves forward. What do I get? I get what I want. What do they get? They get a connection and they get fulfillment. Now, if you're going around spreading fulfillment, you're more likely to get some because that's how karma works. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. So where in your life are you putting your potential clients in the position to reject you by saying, "No, thanks, just looking. No, thanks, just looking." And if you do that, do you have a place for them to look? This is really important. If somebody doesn't receive your offer to help them directly and they say, "No, I just want to take a look," you have something they can look at. I know Sarah does. Sarah has free downloadable material that's easily accessible to people. All right, if you're just looking, I'll send you a link and go ahead and look over there. Is that going to come to much business? It may not, depending on how effective what they look at is and how much they need your help. But what this class is today, this class is about how can you help them without entering the relationship as "I'm here to help." How can you say it in your marketing? And I don't want to go on semantics a whole bunch, but assist is the same thing. It's just a different word. Okay. What is it that you do for people? So I'm just going to take us a moment, slow down the class, go into your head, go into your heart. What is it that you really do? What is it that you do for your clients? What results do they want? I want you to just be in that spot. I want you to hear this class from what you really want to do, what gives you fulfillment. And then we're going to talk about how to attract people who want that. Caitlin said something really significant before we started recording, and she mentioned that she has an ideal client. Okay. What is it about an ideal client that is what we want to have our focus on in our marketing? What is it? Why do we want to have an ideal client? Open microphones. Why do you want to have an ideal client? Sarah?
Well, for me, it's aligned and it takes away this feeling of force, becomes effortless and fun. It's not fun to try and convince people who are not your ideal client of why they should be, and take them away from what their effortlessness is. If they're effortlessly looking for my services, then we have a beautiful connection. If they're not, then trying to convince them to is a waste of everybody's time.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you. How about you, Caitlin? What is it about an ideal client that makes it somebody you want to target?
I agree 100% with Sarah that the alignment of it all is key, because if I forget where this quote came from a few days ago, it was given to me, but we focus on the 99% that aren't getting it. They're not ready for it. They're not aligned with it. It's just not in their time and space right now. We forget the 1% that is ready to and is open to receive that. So it's very much of the direction and the alignment of where we place ourselves, so that if we know our ideal client, then we're able to hone in on that 1%, and that 1% will go out and do more in their truth and their authenticity and their purpose. So um I 100%, it's a waste of our energy. And I don't want to say unfortunately, but that's part of the journey, is figuring that out and getting to the point of understanding that alone, that it's just a redirection of our self and our where we put our time and energy.
Got
If
it.
that makes sense.
Got it. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's really important to have that alignment, and that's what marketing to an ideal client, ideal prospect, a target market does. It attracts those you want to work with, and it repels people who don't need your service, who don't need what you want. Okay. But what is it about what is it about them that makes them your ideal client? What is it about people that goes, this group of people is my ideal client? There's one really important thing. What do you got, Sarah?
We solve their problem.
Yeah. And they all have the same problem. They all have the same need. Okay. It's not that they live in the same place. It's not that that they're in the same business. Okay. It's that they had the same need. Okay. And when you realize that you're targeting people that have the same need, then your message can be clear and concise. If I was a love coach and all I was doing is trying to find people who wanted to find a love coach, I wouldn't be making enough money, because there's not enough people who know there is a love coach. So people aren't looking for that particular service. Okay. What are they doing? What do they need? They need a better relationship. If you're a man, you need to understand your woman. Okay. That's the number one thing men need in relationships, from my perspective, is they don't understand. I've been to counselors. I've been to couples counseling, and you know what I called the couples counselor? The translator. They took what the woman was saying to put in perspective to what I was hearing. The funniest thing ever is, you're sitting in a room, there's three people, you say, here, this is what I need. And then the middle person says to the other person, what did you hear? And they say what they heard. And so you go back to the first person, is that what you said? No, that's not what I said. So today, if you say, I help coaches make more money, I help people have better relationships, by saying the word help, you are repelling. Can't say that word cleanly. Take two. If you use the word help in your marketing, you're repelling your ideal client. I promise you. Promise you. So what can we do better to help them see that we're there to help them without rejecting them by saying you need help? Interesting dynamic. So there's a movie that has a really good play on this that if you know the movie, you'll understand it. If you don't, I'm sorry, but you can go watch it because it's worth watching to do it. It's the original Karate Kid. You guys, have you seen this movie? Okay. So in this movie, Mr. Miyagi helps Daniel win a championship, win the girl, and defeat the bullies. Okay. How does he help him? Does he help him with what he thought he wanted help with? No. Wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. Do you guys remember this? This is a really, really great example of giving somebody what they need as opposed to what they wanted. And it's a really good example of how you shouldn't do your marketing. Was Mr. Miyagi trying to sell Daniel on taking his karate lessons? No. He didn't have a dojo. He wasn't a karate teacher. He really wasn't looking for a student. It was Daniel who was looking for a mentor. And it was Daniel who wanted to help. He wanted the help. He wanted to become something that he perceived he wasn't. And he used Mr. Miyagi as the mentor. Okay. Do you guys remember the movie well enough to grasp what I'm saying? Okay. Did he give, hi, Cynthia, welcome aboard. We're talking about the Karate Kid and how Mr. Miyagi was able to help him, but he delivered what he needed, not what he wanted. We're going to do the reverse engineering of that. We're going to give people what they want in our marketing. Okay. Do people want help doing their taxes? Do people want help making smart decisions on money? Okay. Some people do, some people don't. Does everybody who needs help with their finances want to receive help on their finances? No. No. What do they want? They want to live a better life. They want their money to work for them. They want things to be easier. Okay. This is what they want. So what do people, the easy way. What do people want from their coaching? Do they just want do they just want clients to show up and pay them so they can teach them and live in their purpose? Yeah. How nice would that be? Caitlin, how would you feel if you had one person every day call you, go, hey, I heard you were a love coach and I really want more love in my life. Do we want that? Okay, we want that to happen. So this is what we accomplish by outstanding, incredible marketing that does not go out and tell people how we help them. Okay. What we want to do is paint a picture of the end game. What will it look like? For Empowered Life, it might look like you'll have a position on a marketplace where you'll have clients to choose from. Clients will choose you, you'll choose clients, and your coaching business will thrive financially. That's a nice outcome, isn't it? How about for Love Coach? You'll have an incredible relationship where not only will your wife do more for you, but she'll understand you better. What a great scenario. And, Cynthia, I imagine you get people from all sorts of different financial situations. I don't know where you take your people from. Do they go from good to great? Do they go from great to awesome? Do they go from not so good to good? So when you're thinking of your ideal client, think they are all taking a specific journey. So you're going to create this journey. What do they have to do? They have to come into your kingdom. They have to come across your drawbridge. We want to make that drawbridge incredibly enticing for the right people. Cynthia, before you hopped on, we were talking about having a 30-second elevator pitch that appeals to people. I use a formula. My formula is real easy. I say my target market, I say what they do, and I say why they do it. I used to not say my name. I want you guys to understand and hear this real quick. I used to just skip over my name because everybody at the end of my presentation, nobody knew my name. It didn't matter what my name was. Okay. So I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to use it. Then I found out it matters. Not what my name is, my name, because it doesn't matter. What matters is that I start off the pitch with an introduction of my name, because that's what people are used to. If I don't start there, I found they're not used to that. And that creates friction. So, hi, my name is Adam Bricker. Coaches, authors, speakers, and healers hire me to dramatically increase their revenue and spend more time fulfilling their purpose in this world. It's short, it's sweet, it's simple. Do I go on from there? Yeah, sure, because that was only 12 seconds. But what I just said was my target market. Then I say what they do, hire me. They hire me to what? Dramatically increase their revenue and spend more time fulfilling their purpose in life. So just a quick nod. Do you guys want to dramatically increase your revenue? And do you want to spend more time fulfilling your purpose? Bam. So now I have a target market. Now I've addressed you. I've addressed your needs. I didn't say I help them. And at that moment, I'm 9, 10, 12 seconds into it. What do you think people are thinking at that time? Should I connect with him or should I not? That's it. Should I connect with him? Should I? What's in it for me? What's in it for you? Dramatically increased revenue and more time spent fulfilling your purpose. Then I'll go on with something like this. What I found is coaches really don't want to spend a lot of time doing their own sales and marketing. They'd rather spend more of their time coaching. So what I do is I make that part of their business really simple. Make sense? What's the purpose of a 30-second elevator pitch?
Intrigue and disturb.
Cool. Okay. You can intrigue them and disturb them, but what does that do for you?
And they ask questions and they want more information.
Okay. So if they want more information, what happens?
Then I set an appointment.
Okay. So the purpose of the 30-second elevator pitch is get people to
Get an appointment.
get an appointment, right? Cool. And you just disturb and intrigue is your path to get there. Okay. So the purpose is to set an appointment. Who do you want to set an appointment with?
Potential clients or recruits.
Right. But ideal clients.
Oh,
So if I gave you 20 people to talk to and they weren't your ideal clients, you would just waste your time on 20 people. Do you ever get appointments that are just a total waste of time? Okay, so an elevator pitch using the proper languaging is going to eliminate those calls that you don't want. You'll see coming up in the marketing, it's going to say pitch your niche. Pitch your niche, because you don't want to spend time with other people in that, your business time. Sarah wants coaches to call her, but she doesn't want every single one. If there's a coach that's no longer looking to pick up new clients, do you think Sarah wants to talk to her about being on the platform? No. I'm going into retirement. I have enough clients now. I don't really, no, it's not an ideal client. And when you set the parameters of, we'll be driving more traffic to you and building your business with you, if you're not building the business, they're not going to want to be there. Make sense? Cool. Caitlin, check in with me, love. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just thinking about that 1% when, we're talking about our ideal client. My ideal client is different from any of yours. So if I'm reaching my 1% and you're reaching your 1%, enough of us reaching our 1% reaches the whole. So it makes sense. That's why you have to really hone in and figure out who your ideal client is. And that seems that was something that I was always struggling with. And so when you asked in the beginning of the call, like, what are you here to help with? And I just started jotting some stuff down. So through that process is how I'm figuring out that my 1%, like who my 1%, my ideal client is, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
So let me ask you, how many clients do you have?
Currently, I have none.
Okay. Have you ever had any clients?
I have, yes.
How many have you had? I don't need it exact. Is it a dozen? Is it 50? Is it 100? Is it hundreds?
I was regularly seeing 5 to 6 clients in a week, and that was probably on rotation, probably like 15 people at a time. But I've seen more since then, so probably like 100.
All right. So you're just getting into the position where you know what your ideal client is. You know who.
Precisely.
Okay. So a lot of things that you're struggling with right now is the theory, the philosophy of who my ideal client is. And I'm going to tell you this: don't get too caught up in it. Pick one that seems pretty good and go with it. Do your marketing, go forth with it, and then evaluate it as you go through the process. The way I speak it is, you might not have the crayon in your box yet that looks like your ideal client. If you got that box of 8 crayons, you don't have magenta. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Crazy analogy. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah. So don't get too caught up on who's my ideal client until you've serviced 100 people. Then who did you get the best results from? What did they look like? And the way we line up our ideal client is, what results are they getting and what results are we delivering? And then you reverse engineer that back to figure out who was your ideal client. It might not always match who you thought it was. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I guess I kind of did that between 19, 20, 21, and it was hard for me because it's like I was finding the clients that were wanting it, but the follow through on their end, the assignments, the things that the work to continue was not getting done. So I guess what I learned through that process was that, yes, they were wanting it, but people were wanting me to give them the answers. They were wanting me to kind of flip the switch for them. And that's not serving anyone. Okay. And so through that process, I guess, I'm not quite sure what the missing gap is. It's like I'm aware of that, but I'm not able to figure out what that missing gap is from the people that are wanting it and desiring the change and the shifts and transitions in their life, but want people who actually want to do the work. They don't, if that makes sense. I don't want to be the one that does it for them, because that serves no one, and it's not going to be long lasting. Someone who has to put in the work themselves will see the long-term results.
Got it. So what percentage of those people do you think that you were helping were just not following through and doing the work?
I mean, I don't know that I'll ever know that answer because time has passed and it may have just been planted in the seed at that point in their life. And so I may never know that answer, but in the time of me researching, I would say out of the 5 people, I had 2 and a third one that was like back and forth. So I don't know what that percentage, 2 out of 5, whatever that is.
It's not enough. It's not a big enough sample, but let's do this. I'll bring in Cynthia, then Sarah. Cynthia, do you find that you have clients you give work and they have to do their work and then they just don't do the work?
Always.
Sarah, do you have people who
Actually, let me rephrase that. I have team. My clients actually do the work. So my team says they're going to do the work, it doesn't do it, but my clients actually do. I have a different market though, don't forget. Because I have people with real problem when it comes to they can't pay their bills sometimes. So, but yes, I know the struggle.
Yeah, I don't know what's bigger, what's a bigger issue. People who have bills who can't pay their bills, who have a clear path on what they need to do and don't do it, or people who are struggling in a relationship that have a clear path to fix it, but don't do the work they need to do. How about you, Sarah? Do you have coaches that come on your platform and you tell them exactly what to do to increase their business and they somehow don't do it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So who has a better scenario? This is going to happen. Okay. I have a mentor of mine named Tony Robbins. I don't know if you know Tony or not. Tony's written several books. He's a bestseller. He loves it when somebody buys his book, but 72% of the people that buy his book never get past the first chapter. They take it and they put it on their bookshelf. You know what he calls that? Shelf help. Okay. Yep. There you go. It's shelf help. Okay. Do you have a perception that a lot of people buy a gym membership and don't go? Do you have a perception that people buy a lot of vitamins and then don't take them? Okay. So this is a challenge. This is, if your business model is predicated on the success of your clients, maybe you only have a 20 or 20% chance of being successful with that. I don't know. Tony said 72% of the people don't. Could you imagine that Tony Robbins has a level of success that only 25 to 30% of his people get the rewards that they're after? So if your business model is predicated that you're only making money when you're having success, then it's going to feel like a failure often. You're going to feel like you're spinning the wheels a lot. So you want to be able, how do you help people? What is it that you need to do to help them? And how much of that can you do versus how much do they do? And are you in that business where you get to the point where if they don't do the work, they're not going to be successful? Which means if they don't do the work, you're not successful, which means you either need to change your game plan or figure out a way to get them to do that work. I work with a coach called the Heart Healer. And this woman is so intense in her communication. Hey, Adam, you got this assignment to do. I want to be able to review it for my next class. Will you have that in my inbox by Wednesday at 9 p.m.? Yes, I'll have it there. I know you want to have it there. What do you have to do to get it there on time? And it's just, I'm not saying it's the best technique. I'm just saying it's incredibly effective for me. All right, I'm just going to take a moment to take a breath. So we're dealing with the ideal client. This is, go ahead, Cynthia.
So in that ideal client, I've heard this my entire career, except inside our company. And the reason that it's always a challenge is, I mean, I had a client that I took her, I could get them out of debt. So I took her out of debt and now she's a financial client who invests. I have other clients who roll over $500,000 for me. It's so easy. Like, I don't do a lot of work with businesses. I do more with individuals and families. And age is not a factor. It's more of an income narrowing. So anywhere from it's been as low as 50,000, but 50 to say 250 is the ideal income. Well, ideal would be 75 to 250. I work in that middle class in the finance industry, whereas the industry works with only the high net worth. So that's kind of been my target. Always. I mean, I just really, after what you said, created a elevator pitch that I love, which for the first time ever, based on what you just said. But that niche market is just so all over the place in my work history.
Okay. Well, let's really focus on your niche real quick. Okay. It has no concern if they're a male or female. It doesn't matter what their age is. Just, it doesn't. Okay. Obviously income is a factor, but it's not really the biggest factor. Okay. You could have somebody making $225,000 a year who's much worse off financially than somebody making $100,000. So that's not really the factor. What's the real factor? People need help, guidance, tools, techniques, strategies, whatever it is, to deal with their financial situation and make it better. Okay. So do you think that most of your clients who become successful with you are those that don't know what to do, or those who know what to do, but they're just not doing it?
Those who have no idea what to do.
There you go. That's your target market. Age doesn't matter. Income level really doesn't matter. If you had somebody come to you and they're making over $1 million a year, is that still okay with you? Yeah. Okay. So you got it. So your niche, it's not about who they are. It's about what do they need. Okay. And if they don't know what to do with their finances, so what your pitch, your ideal client is going to be somebody who's already recognized they don't know what to do. Are you helping them? Yes. Okay. But what we want to do is we want to make sure you help them without helping them. So we want to have help out of there. People who know they should be financially better off, more responsible, but just don't know what to do, hire me to teach them things that their parents never taught them about money. Yeah. So that just fits into my formula. I know you already have something good, but does that make sense?
That was better.
Does that make sense to everybody, that your target market is more on the decisions they have to make than anything biological or geographical? If you're doing finances and it only applies in the USA, then it'll only apply in the USA. Obviously, Caitlin's not going to be coaching many people in their relationships from Saudi Arabia or Afghanistan, because they don't work like mutually agreeable relationships over here. And if you don't know that, that's a case in women's studies that's really worth looking into. Cool. All right. So we know, all right, let me do this again. Ready. All right. So you're in the business of coaching. I'm Adam Bricker, and today we're talking about how to help your clients without helping them. We're going over things like pitch your niche with your 30-second elevator pitch. The goal of that is to get people to get interested, ideal clients to connect with you, whether that's for appointments or inquiries or anything like that. To go one-on-one is a great way, I think, for everybody who's on this call. We use the examples of walking into a department store or car dealership and people say, hi, can I help you? And that turns people off immediately. Actually, what it does is it opens up their resistance. There is an inherent resistance to, can I help you? So when you're turning around and say, I help people do X, Y, and Z, you are triggering the resistance in your ideal client. And the thing that makes them ideal is not necessarily who they are or where they are. It is what they need, which is not what we're going to market to. We're going to market to what they want. Cool. That was a good summary for me there. Open floor. Any thoughts, ideas, or questions? Cool. I like to give an assignment to you is to go ahead and write your 30-second elevator pitch. Doesn't have to be 30 seconds, just needs to be less than 30 seconds. And to make a recording of it and post it in the group.
Can I share what I wrote?
Please do.
Hi, I'm Cynthia. Families hire me to dramatically increase their knowledge of money and create a secure financial future.
Cool. Cool. In your delivery, I'm going to ask you to do it again. Give me a little more space between your name and your target market.
Okay. Hi, I'm Cynthia. Families hire me to dramatically increase their knowledge of money and create a secure financial future.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So as you do that, we'll be able to fine tune it.
I'm open to all critiquing.
Okay. So critiquing number one, you want to expand on your target market beyond just families. Okay. Just to give people a chance to adjust to what you are saying. Okay. Oh, would you say a lot of your clients are busy professionals?
Professionals.
Yeah. So, families, parents, and busy professionals hire me to. So that gives them a chance to be in one, two, but wow, I'm all three of those.
Families what?
You mean my suggestions that I was giving you?
Yeah, what did you say? You said families, something, and busy professionals.
I said parents.
Oh, there you go.
You know, some people identify as being parents and they were okay with money until the kids came along. And then what to do with, and so we're on target market. Let's bop around real quick. Caitlin asked me if it's okay if you just say people. Okay. So when I say people do this, most people don't identify being in a group of people. So I would say it would be an ineffective word to use. Okay. So, if you're in a love coach, you might say something like husbands, wives, and people who want to be married. Because if I say people do this, you go, hey, I'm a people. No, but if I say wives do this, then wives subconsciously go, hey, that's me. And I don't know, same-sex marriages, do they still call them husbands and husbands? Okay.
That's why when you said that, I said husband and wives and people who want to be in a relationship, because it leaves it open. It's not limited to any, because people will word play, they'll potentially get hung up on that. And so if you just say any relationship, that leaves it open to whatever that resonates with them.
Okay, but in a relationship is not strong enough. In a relationship, not strong enough. What kind of relationship?
uh, intimate relationship.
Okay. And how would they want their intimate relationship to be? Husbands, wives, and people who desire to be in a fun, intimate relationship. So now you're painting the picture. What do I want to be? Do I want to be in a relationship, or do I want to be in this fun, romantic, intimate relationship? And I don't know the right words. You know the right words because that's the direction you're coaching the people. But what are we doing here? We're telling people who should call us and make an appointment. Cool. What do you have, Sarah? Coaches, influencers, and people of high regard.
Sorry, what was the question?
We were just talking about target market, ideal client.
Who's my ideal client?
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple different lines of ideal client. You know, we've got coaches, we've got learners, we've got partners, and recruiters.
Yeah.
So 3 different lines of ideal clients. The ideal coaching clients or coaches on the platform are ideally new coaches within 1 to 3 years of their starting their practice or haven't even started. They're typically in the age range of early 40s to late 50s. They have created a handful of clients, and they are typically authors, speakers, healers. There's a whole thing. Like I have a page on.
Right. But what do they want?
They want to create a coaching business without having to master marketing, sales, branding, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's their problem that we're solving.
So they don't have, so their age doesn't really matter. The amount of clients they have doesn't really matter. They want more. You're coaches who want to expand their business. For the coaching sides, really, that's what you're looking for. You could have a coach that has 30 clients and feels maxed out and doesn't want to have any more. You could have a coach with 100 clients who wants a lot more.
Yeah.
So the number they have, that doesn't make them your ideal client. Their desire to grow their business, that's what makes your ideal client. So your elevator pitch should address how easy it is to grow your business, dramatically increase your revenue, and without having to do all the sales and marketing on your own. Cool. Caitlin, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Sarah to elaborate on that. So when you talk about you have multiple ideal clients, you know, I know you guys have multiple business streams, so I'm assuming that's kind of like you're layering to it, but the need for all of them is the same, or do they each, depending on the project or like the coaches, could you elaborate on that? I don't really know how else to ask the question.
So it's real simple. At Empowered Life, we have 3 different sets of people with 3 different reasons for joining. Number one, which you're most familiar with, is the coaches. And that's what we spoke to Kara, with Sarah about, which is coaches who want to grow their business. You know, you and Cynthia clearly fit in that. The next level is those who are learners, those who want to learn more things in their lives, those who want to be coached. And clearly you and Cynthia are part of that because you want to learn how to run a business more effectively and more prosperously. And then the third part is totally different. It's those are people who want a revenue stream. They're good recruiters, they're influencers. They're not coaches per se. And Sarah set up an amazing program to allow them to come in, recruit other people to be on the platform, mostly as learners, but also as coaches. And they get paid not only a nice wage for doing so successfully, but they get residual income on it as well. So 3 totally separate clientele that Sarah will have 3 different teams for and 3 different marketing pitches for.
So then again, the need of each level is similar or the same, or where's the difference in the need when we're talking about addressing their need and solving their problem?
Yeah, so there are 3 separate niches, 3 separate categories. Sarah's not building a solopreneurship. She's not building something that she's going to just be handling herself. Empowered Life will have 3 separate teams to handle each of these divisions. So it's set up more of a corporate structure. Whereas if you have a singular focus, it's like my business or yours or Cynthia's, it's really good to have that niche dialed in. If Cynthia goes to make a presentation to realtors and she's got 1,000 realtors attending, she's going to change her elevator pitch. It's going to be realtors, brokers, and other professionals in the real estate industry hire me to, and she's going to adapt that in that moment because her audience has changed. So if Sarah's in front of a group of coaches, it's going to sound one way. If she's in front of a group of salespeople who are looking for additional revenue streams, she's not going to pitch the coaching part. She's going to pitch the revenue part. And just to wrap that up, because I know we're getting near the end, in your business, do you do anything other than coach relationships?
Are you asking me?
Mhm.
Yes, I'm working on some projects now that it's more of a tangible that clients can use, but also it can be marketed to people who are not coaching clients. So
Okay,
a product versus a service.
cool. Yeah, that'll definitely have, if that has a different niche, then you'll need a different pitch your niche. But if it's the same niche, you just add it to your pitch.
I gotcha.
Okay. This is, it's emotional. It's heartfelt. It's psychological, but it's also cerebral. And so if you can combine your left brain and your right brain on it, it'll make the magical formula to bring people on board. And the last question I have for you, how many people would you need to bring on board to go, oh my goodness, February was awesome?
Just
So
a handful.
Cynthia needs 15, Sarah needs a handful, she needs 5. How about you, Caitlin? If you got, how many new clients would you need to go, wow, February is really great?
I would say 5.
Okay, cool. So really, let's focus on putting 5 people into your client base. How many people do you need to pitch to get there? You know, depending on what your closing ratio is, maybe you need to pitch 100 people. Maybe it's 50, maybe it's 30. But you want to find that out. Oh my goodness, February was great. And we have freedom in Canada. Guys, it's been my honor, my pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing all your elevator pitches. If you consider yourself a healer, there's a special event coming up on the 23rd, 1 p.m. Eastern. It's a networking for healers. If you want to pitch to healers, you could also be there. And if you want that information, I'll make sure I'll be posting it. Cool. All right. Anything else before we say goodbye? All right. This is Adam Bricker. This has been the Business of Coaching, week 2, how to help your clients without helping them. And all done for the Empowered Life coaching platform. All right, guys, be well. Take care.